Real estate agents show houses all the time, but how well do they actually know their own? I'm Corey, a home inspector here in New Jersey, and we're about to put Dan Vorhees' house to the test. I'm here with Dan. He's from Coldwell Banker Realty, Joe DiMaggio team. And hey, Dan, how confident are you that you know your house?
I hope. I'm really confident. Otherwise, it's a regret from 10 years ago. So we'll see.
Let's see what we got going on. Welcome to How Well Do You Know Your House, a series where we educate and empower homeowners by inspecting real estate agents' homes. Follow along and let's see how well this real estate agent knows their home. So Dan was explaining some water staining that he was seeing inside the house on the basement window. So let's take a look at this deck and see what we can find. So we got all this building wrap. So you can actually see that it is done like it's supposed to, but this should be sealed right over here. And because of this gap, you can actually see where the building wrap is right here on the ledger board.
Okay.
There's supposed to be a piece of flashing that goes underneath this and kind of like drip edges out. So if anything does get behind it, it doesn't go behind the siding and find its way in.
Okay.
So that's probably why you're seeing all of that staining inside over there.
On the full deck, the flashing?
Yeah,
Okay.
The whole entire ledger board right here, there should be a metal flashing that comes out with a little bit of a drip edge. So any water that gets behind the ledger board runs in and finds its way out.
Okay.
Right now, it's just able to run right behind this siding. And like I said, once it's easy to get behind this, especially if this isn't sealed all the way. Like it's cut short right here. Check this out.
Oh yeah, look at that.
See how it's cut short? And that's exactly where you're seeing the staining is right here.
Right.
Right in the center.
Right. Interesting. All right.
So that should be, this should be redone, this whole little piece right here, realistically.
Of the actual siding?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because there needs to be the flashing underneath of it. This should probably come out. The flashing gets installed properly, and then this can go back in, and then all of this gets sealed.
Good to know. HOA.
HOA, baby.
HOA's problem.
So as Dan and I were walking around back, I was just taking a look at this Goodman air conditioning unit. This was manufactured in 2014. They have a typical life expectancy of about 15 to 20 years on these units. So as I was looking at the deck, I just looked over and I happened to notice that the refrigerant line, the insulation is starting to deteriorate on this line. Go to Home Depot, about $15 or so. You can get a whole new sleeve that goes right over this, a couple pieces of duct tape around it, and it's going to greatly increase the efficiency of this unit. As the sun starts to bake on this unit, it's just not going to reach the temperatures that it's supposed to. So it's going to really improve the efficiency. All right, you ready to go in and show us what we got going on today?
I'm ready. Come on in. Let's take a look.
Sir?
All right, let's go back this way. This is where my utility closet is. You'll see my furnace and my hot water heater, and this is my home gym. This is where...
Whoa, before we talk about furnace and water heater, take a look at this gym. This thing's pretty impressive.
I've had this stuff going back around 15 years. I just pieced it together one at a time. You can also check out if you want. I had an outlet put in on my fuse box out there for the treadmill because the treadmill kept tripping it a while ago.
Very cool. I love it. Let's see what we got in here. All right, we got the furnace and the water heater in here. While we're down here, let's just take a look, see what we got. So we know that the furnace and the air conditioner was manufactured in 2014. Furnace has a life expectancy of 20 to 25 years, so he should still have plenty of time left on the furnace. Water heater, however, also manufactured in 2014. These A.O. Smith water heaters always have a little manufactured date on them. Some other water heaters are a little bit harder to find, but A.O. Smith always have a manufactured date. So water heaters have a typical life expectancy of about 8 to 12 years. Right now, this water heater is at 12 years. It's right at end of life. I would definitely start budgeting for a new water heater sooner than later because these don't give you a lot of telltale signs that they're about to go. The one thing that you can look for is your temperature and pressure release valve discharge tube. At the bottom of the discharge tube, you can stick your finger in there and see if there's any moisture, especially after you've ran it for a while. If you see some moisture in there, that's usually a good sign that it's on its way out or that some repair is needed or that you might need some sort of an expansion tank on it. This one, however, there is no water inside here. It's just older. The problem is when it goes, you have 40, 50 gallons of water all over the floor. With all of this nice equipment down here, I would recommend getting that changed out sooner than later. All right, let's check out this garage.
Garage area, this is where I store some of the stuff that can't be in the house anymore. Now with the 2-year-old, the stadium seats, I'll also do some kickboxing out here with my TV hookup, fuse box. And this is pretty much, I've given this to her as like her play area. So she'll come out here, play some soccer, roll around on her scooter, her trampoline. She'll say, Daddy, let's go work out. And I know she means to come down here or go to the gym and play.
I love that. That's so cool. What a great space, by the way. This floor is unbelievable. What a beautiful, beautiful space. It's completely finished in here. I love it, and I'm super jealous. I wish my garage looked like this. All right, let's head upstairs.
Can I do the realtor? Come on, right this way. Hey, come on. This is more of her play area. Her kitchen set, all of her toys.
Very cool.
Yeah. Because it's just the day it gets delivered, somebody's going to spill ice cream all over it.
Yep, exactly.
Bedroom, attic access in the closet.
So this is where the magic happens, right?
Yeah. And look,
right.
you can see the spots. You can see the water spots.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So Dan was telling me previously, he just got this bathroom done a year or two ago. Looks great, by the way. They did a beautiful job. I love the walk-in shower. I love the bench that you have right there. It looks fantastic. But one thing that he's noticing is the condensation spots up on the ceiling over here. So we're not sure what's going on inside the attic. Maybe the bathroom vent isn't venting properly. Maybe there's an insulation issue where the heat's just rising and starting to condense on the ceiling. We're going to try and get into the attic and see what's going on. So the one thing about these walk-in showers and these ledges, these are all built inside the wall. This niche right here is built inside the wall. One important thing when you have these is you want to make sure that all of the sealant around here is completely sealed. When they use grout, grout is very porous. It allows water to come in and water to come out. It's not waterproof. One good recommendation for these items is to put a clear sealant around all of the corners and all of the wall junctions to make sure that water can't actually penetrate beyond the tile and get behind. All right, so we got the attic space over in the closet right over here. Looks like I'm gonna need to grab my ladder, so stay tuned. Let's pop into the attic next. All right, let's get this ladder up here, get inside this attic. All right, let's take a look at what we got inside this attic over here. When you have blown in insulation, it is super difficult to walk around. All right, so the one thing I'm noticing around here is a lot of the insulation was pushed to the side so that they can run all of their stuff. The bathroom exhaust fan does go through the roof right over here, and it is insulated. That looks like the second bathroom exhaust fan up over in this area. So I am super happy to see that. The other thing we can do inside the bathroom is test the actual exhaust fan to see if it's pulling enough pressure. Because we're in a townhouse, we have party walls. A party wall is a shared wall between units. The wall is always supposed to be fire rated and all of the seams are sealed, just like they show over here. Here's another example of a party wall because he's in a middle unit. He has a party wall on both sides. Always the first couple bays of sheathing is supposed to be fire rated as well. And then the rest of the OSB sheathing is exposed as such. Looks great up here. So the one thing that I'm thinking could possibly be an issue is the placement of where the exhaust fan is inside the bathroom. They have a light over there in the shower. What should probably be done is the exhaust fan and the light get swapped. Put an exhaust fan with a light in that area. It's going to help take all of that steam from the shower and get rid of it a lot faster so it doesn't have time to build up. If you look at this part of the ceiling, there's no staining. The staining is only above the shower where all of the condensation is. You can see there's almost a definitive line right over here. I see streaking down the wall, but I don't see it any further away. So I think maybe if you're not going to replace the exhaust fan and put it above the shower, you may need a larger exhaust fan that has a higher RPM that can have more suction power in here to pull a lot of that moisture out of the shower.
So
I think that might be a good solution for you.
So question for you.
Sure.
You suggested putting the fan over there. I feel like back in the day they used to pop people for having electrical over the shower. Is that still allowed?
No, so every township is different and every municipality requires different things.
Mm-hmm.
You already have electrical over the shower. There's already a light fixture there that already met code when the inspectors came in to look at everything.
Okay.
So putting the exhaust fan over there isn't going to be a problem because the water is not going to find its way in. What's going to happen is the moisture is going to get its way in, right? This is already rated to be in a wet location because it's a bathroom exhaust fan. Mm-hmm. So whether it's moved over a foot, 3 foot in either side, it doesn't really make any difference because it's rated to be like that.
Okay.
What I would like to do is I would like to see if we can get this piece of toilet paper up there to stick. It's sticking pretty good. So that's telling me that the fan is actually pulling. It really just may not be close enough to the actual shower itself. Here's a fun game I like to play. Usually when the bathroom exhaust fan is over the toilet, it makes it a lot easier. We try to turn the fan off and see if we can wave it into the toilet. We're not really close enough, but let's give it a try anyway. Can we get it into the sink? Ah, so close. Yeah, another suggestion with that water heater also, it might cost a little bit more money up front, but it might actually make some more functional use inside that closet for you, is going with the tankless water heater.
Okay.
They last a lot longer because it's on-demand heat, right? So the only time that it's actually heating up is when you turn on for hot water and it needs that demand for hot water. Other than that, those big tanked units, a 50-gallon tank, is constantly heating up that hot water. Mm-hmm. So what's happening is they have a lot shorter life expectancy because they're constantly heating up 50 gallons of water. The on-demand ones, they could last like 20 years because as soon as you turn on hot, that's the only time the flame turns on to actually heat the water up.
Oh, cool to know.
Plus, it's going to also save you a ton of space inside that closet where you can use it to like store your vacuum or something like that and free up some other space inside the home.
Yeah, storage. Yep. Very cool. Awesome.
So yeah, I like that we were able to kind of like find some of those things and totally talk about it. These are a lot of things that I talk about during home inspections, right? Like these are your basic home maintenance tips that just homeowners don't necessarily know about.
Yeah.
Right. Not necessarily fan location and stuff like that, but the ages of units, the putting sealant around the niches and the seats and the ledges inside the showers, how important that stuff is, how important the insulation on the bathroom exhaust fan and the dryer vent, how important that stuff is. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, overall, I think this went really, really well. I think that there was some good information that was given out. How do you feel? Did you learn anything today?
My house is not a lemon, thank God.
It's not.
I didn't get had 10 years ago. And Corey always explains things basic level. He doesn't try to one-up you or doesn't try to catch you on anything. He explains so you understand. He puts things in layman's terms. And that's why I love working with Corey. That's why he's my go-to guy.
And Dan is top notch as a real estate agent. He really shows his clients and goes above and beyond for his clients. If you guys are looking for a real estate agent, if you're looking to buy, looking to sell, give Dan a shout. You will not be disappointed. So yeah, I love educating people. I love taking them around the house. I love explaining these items to them. I think it's super important that they understand how their house works and how everything works. And I want to be able to explain it in layman's terms to everyone. But thank you so much, Dan, for letting us come in today and go through your house.
That was my pleasure.
What an awesome experience. I think what an awesome house you have, by the way. It's really, really cool. I think it's a really fun thing to show buyers what your house is, right? Yeah. You show them houses every single day, but have you ever invited any of your buyers over to the house and like, hey, come on, let's go take a look through my house? Never. No. So what a cool opportunity and what a brave thing that you did, letting us come in and kind of tear your part out.
I cleaned. I tried to give it a once over, to make you guys feel good.
It looks great, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Not everyone would do this, but Dan stepped up and put his house to the test. And honestly, he knew his house pretty well. If you're buying or selling, definitely reach out to Dan Vorhees with Coldwell Banker Realty, Joe DiMaggio team. Now I've got a question for you. How well do you know your house? DM me if you want to find out.